The Brothers Blade is a tale of two brothers, Lance Torstensson and Isaac Torstensson. It's predominantly Isaac's story. It's about him discovering the fact that although he desires to be a knight like his brother, he isn't well suited towards it.
What drew me to Brothers Blade was that it was invented by one of my best mates, Hamza, and the idea of medieval fantasy was, well, it's one of my favourite genres, if not my favourite genre, and he based the character of the Lance upon me, and I found that quite as a compliment, you know. I found Lance very relatable to myself. Kind of sound a bit egotistical now, if I'm gonna, because he's such a well-written character, and you know he's a nice, thoughtful guy, headstrong, bit of a ladies' man. I'm joking. Also, man, he has this cool thing right here, man. He has like such a cool weapon, luminous sword, nicely designed. You know, I was a really big fan of it when I first saw it, and I really liked just getting to use this while acting.
Meanwhile, while Lance is off at war, Isaac is under the tutelage of Farmer Park, where he learns about all the finer things, the craft of farming and brewing, and in the end he ultimately discovers that maybe he doesn't entirely want to be a knight, maybe he's better suited to other things. It's Isaac sort of self-realising and also discovering the true meaning as to who he wants to be, whether or not he wants to be a knight, whether or not he should be a farmer and be of service to people.
It seems like a really good idea. He also based the character of Isaac upon me, at least to a little extent. I quite like the idea of playing someone who I thought I could emulate quite well, and that I can relate to as well. Especially the clumsy nature and the fact that, you know, sometimes it's okay to give up, and I want to portray that lesson.
Honestly, no writer and storyteller likes to admit it, but the idea just popped in my head. I was reading a bunch of fantasy at the time, a lot of Game of Thrones, a lot of Tolkien, Wheel of Time, and then also I was rewatching all of my favourite stuff. I was watching Merlin, I was rewatching Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, and the idea just popped in my brain. And because it's a blended pastiche of everything, it becomes its own new and unique thing. I'm a first-class filmmaker. I got a first in my film degree. I have spent the past 3 years training and perfecting my craft. I am really just eager to tell this story. I know how to do it. I have the vision is there, the story is there. I just want to really just deeply dive into it and bring it to life.
It was a great opportunity because I'm working with my friends. I'm working with Hamza, who's obviously a great director. He knows what he's doing. So, you know, even if I would be struggling, I know under his guidance, he would definitely help me out. What better way to actually start off an acting career, if I was going to start one, than doing a role that was written for me.
I mean, I've acted a few times before, but this isn't my first time acting for Hamza. And so I know that he's a good director that I can rely upon and trust. And he's taught me a lot as well upon the way. So I don't mind. And also it's quite fun to learn how to act as well in the process. And I think this cast especially, they're my friends and stuff. And so we're learning together, which is quite nice.
I know what good acting is. I can get the good performances out of my friends. I know how they work, and working together, it's always fun. You can't make a film if you're not enjoying the process, I always find. You try and make something that you're not passionate about, it doesn't turn out good, and I know how to get the performances out of my friends, because again, I'm a first-class director. So I'm currently just finalising some pre-production stuff. Right now I'm just going through the shot list, but the sets are built, costumes are made. Darin and George have just had their costumes fitted, and they're looking pretty good. They're looking in character, which is good. George has to shave though, but we'll make sure that's all done before filming begins. Also, for the past few months, Darin's been growing out his hair to play Lance, and honestly, he looks so good. Tell me he does not look like a stereotypical fantasy hero. I can't wait for you guys to see what he does with the character and what he's going to do and bring to the table as Lance. Speaking of those two, they're coming over today. We're doing a script read, and then after that we're going into the garden to do some fight choreography. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited. I might get intense though, just because I'm a bit of a sword enthusiast and I like to get in the thick of it, and we'll see how it goes. Could be really fun, could be a bit dangerous, but hey, it's the fun of it, I guess. Also, I'm currently editing together some footage that me and Darin shot. We went location scouting, and I'm not gonna lie, some of the locations and exteriors, they look pretty nice, if I have to say. We're getting some real Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings magic. That's kind of what we're after, and it's gonna be special. Nice to see you, man. Like facial hair. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's nice to see you. Yeah, not too bad. So, the plan for today, please take a seat. So, the plan for today is when George arrives, we're going to do a little script read through, and then we're going to go out into the backyard. I've got the training stars over there, and we're going to do some fight choreography and all that kind of.
Yeah, cool.
What's your hair?
Shaved off. I needed a new style.
What do you mean you shaved it off? You told me you're growing out specifically to play Lance.
I needed to discover myself.
Discover? What do you mean? You doing this for me? You said you were doing this for me, so why did you grow? Why did you shave it?
As well, man.
I look better with a buzz.
I don't care if you look better than the buzz. Lance doesn't have a buzz cut. I wrote the words. I made the character. You agreed to play the character.
It's not that bad. I mean, we can just write Lance with a buzz cut.
What do you mean Lance doesn't have a buzz cut? The whole point is that he has nice, luscious, wavy hair, and you had that. Why did you get rid of it? You said you were gonna grow your hair specifically to play this role.
It has helped with the ladies.
I don't care about the ladies. There aren't gonna be ladies in this film.
Does my life revolve around this role?
Yes, it does.
Does it revolve around you?
You made a promise to me, man. Friends make promises and they keep them. So why did you get rid of that? You didn't think, did you?
No.
Why didn't you think? You wanted to be an actor. You told me, hey, I'll take this role. I'm excited to act in this. So why are you doing this?
I forgot.
You forgot. Exterior, forest clearing. A few moments later. Isaac sits on a log, massaging his forehead. Lance is behind him, gathering up their things.
Did you have to hit me that hard?
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
Do that again.
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
One more time.
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
Can you not be as monotone?
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
Can you put more emphasis on the word learn?
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
Can you elongate the word learn? So go learn.
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
One more time.
Yes, you won't learn otherwise.
Well, who in the whole bloody kingdom told you that?
The Smith did.
One more time.
The Smith did.
Who?
The Smith did.
One more time.
The Smith did.
Say that again, but bluntly.
It's blunt right now. The Smith did.
One more time.
The Smith did.
Who?
The Smith.
From my perspective, it was fine, but I just felt bad for Darin. Hamza was making him read the lines over and over, and I couldn't help but want to say something, but at the same time, Hamza's the director, so it's not really, it's his project. There's not really much I can say. He's still learning the process, but at the same time, he needs to fix up, man.
It's just such a boring process, and sometimes you don't know what you sound like. I sound different to myself than I sound to you, so being told to repeat the same line over and over, especially when it's so short, it just does my head in. Why was that done? Was that done on purpose to make me annoyed? Was it? Because if so, that's not very nice of you, Mr. Director.
When it comes to Darin, I don't know, there were times where I don't know which director said it somewhere, but a director knows when they've heard it. When they've heard it, they know it. Actors are precious little flowers at the end of the day. And sometimes you just have to overfeed a flower to let it grow. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just giving them a lot, but in the end, they're going to grow. All this tough love, it's necessary because at the end of the day, we're breaking down these barriers, but they're going to rebuild and come back stronger. I'm a fantastic director, like I said, and again, he just wasn't giving. But that's fine. That's what actors do. They fuck up, they make mistakes, but at the end of the day, it's okay. I will get him to that point because, again, I've based this character off him and I believe in him. Block. Boom. Boom. Wah. And then you just step out the way, whack my arms. George, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
You're just stumbling about like you don't know what you're doing. Just like move your feet more. You're just like standing about like acting like a little weird freak.
Is that not what I
You
meant
gotta
to
move.
do?
You gotta move your feet more. Yes, I will. I'll talk to him like that. I'm the director.
You don't get to treat everyone like that.
Yes, I do, man.
No.
I'm
You
trying
treat
to.
me like that.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
Do you wanna go?
Yeah.
You wanna go?
Yeah, I wanna go. Come on, let's go. Ah. Ah.
From your actors like that.
Ah. Do you know what? Sometimes men just gotta fight it out. I think it was a good bonding experience. Granted, bit of tough love, but again, like I said, actors need that. They're precious little flowers sometimes. Little too precious, that's fine. You just gotta feed them, you gotta help nurture them, and at the end of the day, they're gonna grow from it.
It hurt, first of all, you know. Got hit in the head. Got hit in the head, hands, but you know, it's part of acting.
Hamza just needs to learn how to direct. I mean, I get he's starting out, right? I've said before, you know, he's not gonna know exactly what to do, but the way he was treating us was just wasn't on, to be honest. And I'm glad that Darin stepped up and was there for me, because I don't know what he would have done if Darin hadn't stepped in.
It felt like I was literally watching my little brother get hit, and I had to defend him, you know. I don't think the director was being fair, so I had to defend my little brother.
So, what do you think?
You're taking the mic, right?
What do you mean?
You're really telling me he's going to be 16 years old?
Well, no, he's obviously going to shave. And
You've seen the
obviously
man's beard?
Yeah, but when he shaves, he's going to look much younger.
No.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 36 years old.
No, honestly,
That's
it's
on
not...
a good day. And what even are these props? What, they're going to have perfect broom handles in medieval
Well, I'm
times?
obviously going to sand it down, obviously. It's just, you know...
I think he needs more than sanding down. I think you need two people that can confidently wield sticks.
But they can. Like, this is only the first rehearsal. Like, we're going to keep training, obviously. So the more they keep training, the more they're going to get better, obviously.
Trained by what? Mopping the floor. This guy on the left, he looks alright. You know, other than his skinhead, I'm not quite sure what medieval or fantasy character has ever really had a skinhead. It just does not work.
But it
That's
kind
a
of is.
villain.
No, but it kind of is period accurate to a point. You look at things like Vikings and stuff. They had shaved sides. The thing is, he did promise he was growing it out. It's not my fault. I can't control what he does with
It
his
is
life.
entirely your fault. You're supposed to control your actors. You're in charge.
But
What did I leave you in charge for?
But I tried.
No. What do I leave you in charge for?
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. And you've got these bloody mop handles. How are you supposed to make these? How are you supposed
No,
to
I'll
convince
weather
me
them
these
down.
are
I'll sand them down. I'll
You're
weather
going to
them
need to
down.
weather them down. Look at them.
Yeah, I know.
There's no paint on them.
But it's just to rehearse. That was what we're doing. We're just rehearsing the moves.
These look nothing like brothers.
But no, they do.
Especially in the fact that
When he shaves, he does.
he's
they
what?
do.
He's supposed to be 21 on the left?
Yeah,
Then why have we got this 40-year-old virgin fighting him on the right? He's supposed to be 16.
it's a bit harsh, isn't it? Like he's not that. Like dude.
Harsh. And this is the sword.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good. No.
Why is it blue?
Well, that's the point. It's made out of a different material called luminance.
It's made out of paint. I'm telling you, it's made out of paint and plastic.
But it looks.
It's even chipping off.
Well, what do you? Yeah,
You
but
can see that, right? Stevie Wonder could have painted a nicer sword. Right, be honest with me, were you drunk when you made this?
no, I don't drink.
God, there's not even an excuse for how shoddy the workmanship is. What's this sword?
Well, that's the second one. We have a beauty sword and then we have another sword, right?
Right, there's a big difference between these two swords.
Well, yeah, the pommel screws off, so we can switch round. It's fine. That would be the stunt sword, and then that's the beauty sword.
They're both ugly enough to be the stunt sword. How are you supposed to convince someone in a close-up those are the swords?
Yeah, but I'd rather the concept over the execution because that's the intent, obviously.
The only execution is going to be the audience's interest. Mate, it's never going to work. What, you can have that 40-year-old dad building it? Or what? Bert the skinhead.
Mate, you're being harsh. They're my friends.
Well, mate, I couldn't care less for your friends. I'm the one who's coming in to make the film.
I'm making the film too. I'm the director.
What are you making? One, they can't act. Two, they can't even fight together. That 40-year-old is no way convincing anyone that he's actually 16. What part of him was 16? His dyed hair? Or what? His massive beard? He looks older than his older brother.
It's gonna look good. I
The
promise.
only executive decisions you're making are bad ones. If that sword, if you actually thought that was passable, you're a fool. And you spent like £300-400 on those swords.
Mate, I've not just the swords. I've already spent £1,000. Like I don't know.
You've
what you
wasted
want me
£1,000. You haven't spent £1,000. I tell you, ask me, and I'll tell you what you can spend your money on.
But what do you?
This is why you don't make executive decisions. You're a director. Direct your actors and ask me if you need any guidance.
But as the director, shouldn't I be partly responsible for the budget?
No, you shouldn't be responsible for anything because clearly you're incapable. You really want me to sink 3-4 grand into a film when you've got plastic swords from Toys R Us? Where else do you think you're going to get more money? What, you think you're going to put in 5-6 grand?
Well, if that's what it takes to make it look good, then yeah.
If that's what it takes, yeah, but who's going to pay for it? Who wants to sink 6 grand into this project when these are the props you're putting out? Tell me what part of this screams money.
Ever since that conversation with Nick, I've been looking at the budget, and I've been looking at my finances, and I've been looking at his rough estimates for what the film should cost if we wanted it to look professional, and just... I don't see how I'm going to make ends meet. And I've been trying really hard to find any spare cash that I can put into this budget because I don't want all this hard work to go to waste, but just seeing the finances and the expectation Nick has for this film, I think I'm gonna have to cancel the project.
Honestly, I am a little bit gutted, but I think it's for the best. You know, at the end of the day, I want to make the best project I can. And I think in many ways this was a learning curve. You know, the ambition was there, the drive was there, but at the end of the day, the funds just aren't. I'm taking the time to reflect, to think about the process, and if anything, this might be a bit of a blessing because I've turned the script into a novel. I'm currently writing it, and it's turning out fantastically, if you ask me. It's expanded the story in many ways. It's a trilogy of short stories that follow this world, that expands the lore, that expands the characters. There's more to Isaac and Lance's story, and I hope one day when we come back to the table, we can adapt this in a more sophisticated manner. At the end of the day, we're telling a very ambitious story, and I hope that one day we can tell this story, and it's going to be something special. One day, I hope so. Once I get the Brothers Compendium out of the way, then we'll revisit this story one day, I think. And it's something I'm excited and eager to tell.